Over the weekend of the 19th and 20th of October in 2024, the 39th annual Sunbury Model Railway exhibition was held at the St Anne's Church Hall in Sunbury, presented by the Sunbury Model Railway Club, with 10 layouts as well as a number of traders in attendance. And in this video we're going to take a look at some of the layouts. Exhibition reports on this channel are made possible by the patrons on Patreon, and if you are interested in gaining early access to videos while supporting their production, head over to my Patreon linked in the description. And of course, if you are new here, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I have coming out regularly. To start with, we're going to take a look at Welsh narrow gauge layout, the Slobs, which is a preserved modern day 23.5-inch narrow gauge railway based in scenic Wales in the United Kingdom. Its origins are that of a typical Slate railway, similar to many that can be found in northern Wales, like the Welsh Highlands and Ffaquahar railways, or its smaller cousins, like the Tarlene or Corus railways. The Slobs was built in the 1850s and initially started with just horses pulling slate wagons around. When the money started rolling in, the owners invested in some motive power in the forms of double fairleys, mainline hunslets and quarry hunslets. And like many railways at the time, the owners rode the boom of slate mining in the local area, but also suffered from the decline in slate mining. The owners did well financially and built castles in the local area. The right-of-way was abandoned and all locomotives and rolling stock were just left where they were when the railway closed. In the mid-1970s, a group of investors in the local area, inspired by the work undertaken by the team at the Ffaquahar Railway to reopen it for tourism. They gathered at the local tavern over a couple of pints and reformed the Slobs Railway, with the same intention of running the railways for tourism to help the local economy. The railway currently runs from Clyde Station to Shelley Yard, with the intention of opening up the old right-of-way as time and money permits. There are both tourists and local commuter trains that run on the line, as well as small slate and goods trains, which ferry supplies of essentials to the locals in the area. This layout is built following the Fremo 9 Australia modular concept, with individual or pairs of modules being able to be interconnected to other modules at meets and exhibitions to expand or contract the setup. This layout commenced building in April 2024, and the Fremo 9 Slobs Works group are excited to have the opportunity to debut this layout at this exhibition. And if you are interested to find out more about Fremo 9, you can head over to my website, where we have all the standards posted, as well as a Facebook group.
Start with cannon. Anything battery and third party cannon.
HO scale layout Fern. This layout is designed for shunting, and it measures 2 metres by 45 centimetres, with an offset staging area, which is 80 centimetres long. During the exhibition, you can see operations run a sequence timetable. Fern is a Victorian country town, located on the Leafy Bay branch in Gippsland, and is the 4th station of this kind that they have modelled. The layout does not represent any one set time period. The locomotives and rolling stock are made up from ready-to-run and scratch-built kits. A layout that I've always had a soft spot for is the Slate Valley Tourist Railway in 009 scale. The Slate Valley Tourist Railway is a freelance layout set in the present day using preserved locomotives and rolling stock that are found in recent times around numerous preserved railways in Wales. This layout is a true work of art. And after this exhibition, this layout was sold and is now with a new owner. So whether we'll see it back on the exhibition circuit in 2025 is, well, anyone's guess. But I'm glad that we got to see it at least one last time.
Did you go to band sale? I think it depends who's driving. Yeah, I saw a month. This month's just been a bit of a mess.
Cinnamon Port is a freelance Owen 18 narrow gauge layout, inspired by historic images of Ceylon, which is modern day Sri Lanka. Set in the early 1900s until independence from the British in 1948. The scene combines indigenous architecture, climate and geography of the island, along with influence from the Portuguese, Dutch and British during their representative colonial periods. The historic images that inspired this layout are mainly of Colombo and the canal region of Negumbo Lagoon. Waverley Model Railway Club and Men's Sheds layout, Brocklebank in N scale. This represents a corner of a fictitious town, Exhampton, and the neighbouring village of Brocklebank, somewhere in the southwest of England. The trains running on this layout are typical of this part of England, both in pre-nationalisation period and 1960s British Rail. Brocklebank is an N-gauge layout, using DC power, and consists of an up and down main line in a twisted figure eight, with reversing loops in either direction and a branch line to Brocklebank. The framework was constructed on the L-girder principle, with an expanded polystyrene fill. And the buildings are predominantly kits, with parts of the village being scratch built. Ffaquahar by the Sunbury Model Railway Club. Originally built by John Beaton, this layout is a copy of the Reverend W. Awdry's fourth layout, Ffaquahar Mark II. It was constructed in 1972 and was first exhibited that year. The first Ffaquahar was constructed in 1955, nearly 70 years ago. And they've tried where possible to replicate the Mark II layout using the original drawings and trackwork design and photos of the layout scenery and buildings. Whitefish Bay in Owen 30, which was constructed by master modeller John Hunter as a tribute to the late Jeff Knott, an internationally renowned modeller. It showcases John's highly detailed laser cut and scratch built buildings, boats and structures, including the lighthouse and Knott's Landing boathouse. A single rail bus provides regular passenger service to the residents of Whitefish Bay to the nearby capital city. This layout was featured in the October 2023 edition of Narrow Gauge Down Under.
Very good.
Springfield by the Sunbury Model Railway Club. Springfield is a generic American outline N-scale layout, featuring trains from the 1950s through to the modern day. It's operated using the NCE DCC system and features points controlled via macros and servo motors. This two-storey layout, which is connected by a helix at either end, also features a number of industries and settings that are commonplace across the USA.
Yes.
I know, I'm looking at the dog.
Genesis from the Waverley Model Railway Club and Men's Shed. The birth of the railways as we know them occurred with the Industrial Revolution of the 1800s and the availability of iron, which finally led to the development of the steam locomotive and iron rails. The trains from the 19th and early 20th century can be seen on this layout and are a diverse grouping from the birthplace of the railways, travelling past early road and canal transport, depicted in an isolated rural English location that remained largely unchanged until the 1930s. Genesis is the Waverley Model Railway Club's latest exhibition layout and was kindly donated to the club by John Beaton, who created the layout in the 1980s. Of recent times, the club has refreshed the scenery, extended the fiddle yard and updated the electrics.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Railway. No. Very good.
As well as that, you also had the Amrit Garden Railway Group. This is a G-scale layout, which is usually designed for the garden. It represents an American museum railway, and the rolling stock comes from a number of different periods, from the 1890s to the 1960s. As well as those layouts, there were also modelling clinics where you could ask your questions about model building, and there was a number of traders and manufacturers. And they were along the track models with their 3D printed structures, KNL models, Train World, railway merchandise and custom printing, broad gauge models, road and rail, Ixion and Gopher models, SDS models, as well as on-track models and IDR models. Now in 2025, this exhibition will be back on again. So if you are keen to find out more about this exhibition and the Sunbury Model Railway Club, you can follow them on social media, as well as their website, or keep up to date with everything model railways in Australia with the monthly model railway news that happens on this channel. So I hope you've all enjoyed taking a look at the 39th annual Sunbury Model Railway exhibition, and all the links that I mentioned will be in the description below. And I'll see you all again soon. Hooroo!